one thing to remember is any approving an unpaid leave of absence, it's different than military time, or if a person was employed in the past, they could in turn buy back that time when they're retired. This is actually requesting to pay back time they physically were not paid and were off work. One, if it's approved, it will affect, obviously, the liability going forward because you're going to add time to that employee. Two, it'd have to be a blanket. I don't think you can just pick and choose and put restrictions on at this point. And three, if we do grant it, the person requesting it must pay by the last day they're employed in full. They would pay their share, the interest for that time, plus the county share for that time. So it could be a significant amount of money. In checking around the state, 90% of the counties do not allow it. There's one or two that do. Most of them just stick with that provision that's in there that I would interpret it, meaning that an employee can request it, meaning that it's not normal. In all the time I've been here, this has been the first request.
Do you have a recommendation?
My recommendation is to just let the status quo the way it is. Otherwise, I believe we will open up the avenue that we will have a flood of them. I mean, if we open up one, I think you then will have set the precedent that then everybody will be asking. And the problem is, I see in unpaid leave, this could be somebody that had unpaid leave 30 years ago. There's no time frame at all to set up. It's very open. And part of the problem there would be we'd have to go back 30 years to determine what their wage was, what their hours were, and make it a guess as to the fact that they'd be working full-time during that whole time. That we would have to approve a motion to approve it. And I think if we do approve buyback, I think it would be a blanket that anybody that requests.
So your recommendation is no action?
Right.
And Jamie, you had something you wanted to add?
I just wanted to mention that the reason this hadn't come up before, and if it's coming up now, is we had this one inquiry from an employee of Cedar Haven who was out on medical leave, or I don't know the specifics, but at some point was out and would like to add that time. So I think you're amending the plan if you allow it. In other words, you can't do two requests. You either, the plan either allows for it or it doesn't.
Right.
As a retirement plan, you either open it up or not open it up.
I think if the wording says an employee can request to buy it back with approval of the retirement.
Do you have that in writing that we can read that at the moment? Or?
That's exactly what the word says.
Do you have it in writing that we can see?
I have it in the plan.
Can you provide a copy of that page?
I can provide you the summary plan that says that.
I would like to request that our solicitor review the written as it is and make a recommendation. Are you comfortable with that?
We can do that.
I agree with that.
No problem.
I don't think we should rush into an action. I don't think.
Waters here.
Yeah, we're in uncharted waters. It's never been happened before.
Sally, are you comfortable with that?
Yeah, I just don't think we should start it now if it's never been done before. I mean, if the people, they were off, they did not lose their job, and if they were concerned about it, it should have been done at that time, not 3 years later or whatever it was.
Yeah.
I guess I'm confused. Can I ask why the original language allowing the request to be made was inserted in a plan that does not allow?
It doesn't make
that's
sense.
Just the way the act was.
So
I mean,
it wasn't you guys
for-
did it. This
It was the act?
It's in the act. It's a provision of the act.
Is that federal or state?
State, the state that created the pension plan.
Okay, so the lawmakers did it.
Yeah. I mean, it allows for military time, it allows for prior service. This just happened to be one line.
Okay, we'll see what the solicitor says.